Hello, okay, today is a new day. Today's the day where we get into doing 3D. We're going to work with a game engine. We're going to take some of these concepts that we've been working on. We're going to convert those into 3D. But on today's show, what we're going to do is we're going to warm up. So I'm going to launch 3D Code. We're going to go into Blender. We're going to go into Godot, the Godot in game engine. And we're going to just pass models back and forth, test out tools in 3D Code, and we're going to see how the models look in the engine. You'll see how it's rendering. Today's just a warm-up. We're not actually going to do any real production work on any of the characters, but we're just going to play around with tools and see how things are. There may be a tutorial that definitely could come out of this one, at least for 3D Code, maybe something with Godot, and maybe even for Blender. And those tutorials I'll try to package and put them on the YouTube channel, xsinick 3000 YouTube channel. So let's get right to it, guys. So I'm just gonna make a little list here and in the chat, just showing what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be a 3D Dev warm-up. Right, so we're gonna be doing definitely 3D Code, sculpting warm-up, we gotta check all the tools out and everything like that. I have a good idea, but we just still wanna do some checking out of that stuff. We're gonna do some Godot. And I'm going to use the newest Godot, so that's Godot 4, right? Godot 4 warm-up. Right, and then we're going to do a Blender. I use Blender so much I don't even have to warm up on it, but we're going to, probably with Blender, we're going to check out how things are passed back and forth between Godot, Blender, and 3D Code, right? So Blender, okay, so what further ado, let's jump into it. You're gonna probably see a lot of my me jumping back and forth in the interfaces and stuff like that. If you have any questions about any of this, any process, just let me know. Say, hey Nick, how do you do this, or what about this, or hey, you should check that out or this out. Hey, now is the time for us to start interacting to some degree. Not a whole lot, but to some degree. Let's jump right into it. Okie dokes, here we are on my desktop, and I'm making a new folder here so I could do all the Godot rendering tests. So I'm gonna make make a folder in the Godot in the actual Godot thing. Hold on here. Turn that off. Okay, so in the Godot folder, right? So Godot 4. I want to make a folder where I could put all tests and that kind of thing, right? So I'll call it scenes. Make a scenes folder in Godot. Right. You select current folder. Right. Okay, so we have different kind of renderers here in the Godot engine. The forward renderer, desktop platform only. Then they have a mobile one, and then the compatibility uses rendering device backend. Slow rendering of simple scenes. Slower rendering of simple scenes. Let's see. Okay, so compatibility. Faster rendering of simple scenes. So yeah, I'm gonna go to forward rendering plus, because I think that's where we get all the different rendering, like the global illumination and all that sort of stuff. Rendering can be done later, but scenes may need to be adjusted. Yep, so control is to get All right, so I'll call this rendering models. That's what this project is going to be. All right, it's going to be the scenes folder, create and edit. So this is Godot 4. This is the newest Godot for Linux here that we're using. Okay, here we go. So let's just close this for now. We got that set up, and I'm gonna make a little folder in my desktop that not a folder, sorry, a shortcut in my desktop for this. Yeah, see, I have Godot 3, so I do have a shortcut for Godot 3. I'm gonna look for a little icon for Godot so I could do a little shortcut here. So let's see, Godot icon. I'm just going to choose something a little bit different. Icon PNG. We already have the circle one. You have all these kind of goofy icons and stuff like that here, but I already have this. This is the one I have. Let's use this guy with the eyes in here. Is this a PNG? Yes, it is. So let's save. Call it Godot icon. The Godot 4 icon. Save that to my downloads. It's fine. Okay. So I'm going to go back into the Godot 4. I just want to be able to distinguish them easily. Okay, so I'm going to make a little shortcut on here. So new program launcher. Call this Godot 4. And I'll put 4 there. Command, which is the program, I'm going to choose the Godot command. Like so. Launching terminal, yes. 3D game engine. Just to be a little neat, I'm going to name it up. Okay, yes. Okay, so here I have it here, Godot 4. I'm gonna take all my design tools and just kind of lay them out here. And then I'm gonna take the Godot, this is Godot 3. And I do that. Yep, I just renamed that. So Godot 4 and Godot 3. I actually don't need to see that trash icon here, so let me see desktop display settings. Rather. Yeah, I don't need to see the trash. I'm just get rid of that. Okie dokie, here we are. Come on. Alright, so let's see if this Godot 4 launcher works. There you go. Yep. And then we could, of course, open the project we just made so we could test the rendering out in here. There we are. Yep, and it's using forward rendering, and you could switch between. We're going to stick with that. Alrighty. So right now, let's launch Godot 3. Which is where the project lives right now. I'm just gonna double check, make sure the project is running nice and smooth here in Godot 3. Okay, it's loading up the interface. And then the next thing we're going to jump into is 3D code and see how that works. Okay, so this is my starter file with the interface. So let's just play the game and see what's up. So of course you see it's in debug mode. So this is the mode I need the game to be in for us to debug it. I should probably make the window size a little smaller so it's more manageable, so things could launch quickly. And then later down when we're doing okay, so there's one thing in here that I have to fix, which is I turned my fog off, so I'm gonna exit out of. Okay, let's play it from the top. Okay, things look much better with proper fog and aerial perspective and all that. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change in this game and just get better. I think the quality keeps I keep trying to push the quality up, but the gameplay is the most important thing, right? Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, let's jump into 3D code. So I know this is working. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is to go. I should make a 3D code shortcut on here. So there's a 3D code icon. Let's make a shortcut on here for 3D code. Three D sculpting. Okay, so I have a shortcut for 3D code here. Let's launch it. Let's see if it launches. Why isn't that launching? Okay, I think I ran into this problem already with 3D code. So what it needs is like a batch script. So let's see. Call it 3D code .sh. I don't know why it doesn't want to launch from the regular launcher, because if I come in here, let's see, the batch script has to echo this. Let's just do this real quick. So we'll see /3D code, and this should launch it. Yep. Okay. So maybe /3D code. Let's get a batch. I have to get a bash script. Linux bash code. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's like bin bash something. Like bin bash exclamation something or the other. I can't remember. Okay, here you go. That's it right there. Copy. So I have to take it from the desk, so it goes like CD. So I just have to follow this. So let's go CD software, see if that works. Oh, CD home software. CD home slash nope. Oh, come on. Slash desktop. Oh, okay. Yeah. CD home. Really? LS? I think I might have to back up. Okay. CD dot slash. Yep, so I backed up. LS. Okay, so I have to put CD dot slash C software. Come on. There you go. LS. Okay, I gotta put a 3D code in there. 3D code dash 2023.17 slash, and then I do this. I think this will work. That. Save. Okay, let's see if this works. So there's our batch script. So you guys set it to run, and then that's it. Let's change the icon to the 3D code icon. Yeah, so this is all part of it, guys. This is like literally what I gotta do. So I'm just doing it here. You know, hopefully like somebody out there who uses Linux and these kinds of things, or this might encourage somebody to use Linux and they could freeze any part of this video and see how to set this stuff up. So we're just gonna go in here and choose an icon. Yep. Right, so it almost looks like an icon. I'm pretty sure this will launch 3D code. Yep, run in terminal. Perfect. Oh, it's not running? Hold on. Display. Did I do something wrong here? Hold on. Let's try this. Too many arguments. CD slash da 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 da. Oh, maybe I just, instead of doing this, I just put 3D code. Not actually. What am I doing wrong here? Let's do the first part first. Oh, did I? Let me see. Let's make sure we're spelling 3D code correctly. Okay, that's why. It's supposed to be a 0 instead of a O. Okay, I got it, guys. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. Yeah, syntax errors are, that's what you call a syntax error. So when you're doing coding, you know, like, that's why I'm not like the perfect coder, because I make so many spelling errors sometimes when I'm actually typing and, you know, typing live and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I just have to read back and I'm good. Or slow down. Sometimes I try to move quick. So, Nick. Oh, still not running? Let's see, okay. So you open with. You try running this again. Properties. Too many arguments. Okay, and can I do run? Okay, so maybe I put this in a new line. Is that how that works? Yep, that's how that works. Okay, we got it. Alright, so here we are in 3D code. I'm just gonna close all this off. Alrighty, so I'm gonna launch 3D code now. Run in terminal, perfect. And let's look for 3D code on here. So see other 3D code, I'm gonna add it to my panel up here. Put it next to Blender. Okie dokie, so 3D code normally starts you in this room for some reason, the paint room. But let's see, you could choose right here. Voxel sculpting is the basis of like using 3D code. We could start with like a human. And this is basically, you could start with that. I'm gonna leave the human model like this just as a reference. I'm just gonna do that because he's a reference. I don't want to select him. I mean, sculpting. Oh yeah, they have like some newer things. They have sculpt. Let's see what. So they have the paint room. Where you could paint, tweak room where you could do tweaking. You could actually tweak polygon meshes. A UV room, the retopo room. So this is where you can actually make, you know, polygon, you know, structures. Actually, no, you could retopo on top of sculpted meshes, and this is sculpt. We're going to spend most of our time here rendering. This is where you could render the final output by hitting rendering. Oh. So you code hardware, then you could use RenderMan to render fracture. Oh. Fractures. That is an easy and powerful way to achieve surface detail of particular unlimited level. Okay. This is the way to apply a texture without the actual UV assignment. It works simply to vertex painting. Okay. Wherever you paint the texture, not just the color. Okay. Yeah, so all these things we're gonna have to check out. Let's see. Simplest. So this is like the simplest layout for a 3D code that you could do. And then modeling, right? So like you could actually polygon modeling in here. So if you turn on the grid, we could see, you know, that's the grid. Then I have kit bashing where you could just throw things together, and of course for 3D printing. Okay, so let's go back to that sculpt room. Okay, so there's so many brushes in here, and normally when I'm in 3D code, I like peeling off these brushes and making my own thing. But there's a few things in here you could do to like do kind of like 3D, what I call like a 3D sketch. So let's make a new layer. Move this layer on top. Where's this guy? Select that guy. They could have adjust, paint, transform, objects, curves. Okay, yep, all familiar. Let's try to give this guy a different color. Yeah, I think I could, for some reason this thing turned off for a minute. Right, let's move, we could transform this guy. Let's move him off to the side so he's not in the middle. And we can actually take down the level of detail on this guy. Let's do that because he's just for reference. Let's do a resample. Good is fine for now. Polygon counts, density factor. Let's make this lower. This is low, press OK. And you can view the wireframe on this by hitting W. Even though it's like voxels, right? Voxels don't really have a wireframe to them. He's on 1x. Let's make it a little less. Yeah, this is good for just our, you know, our guy. Let's do, let's see here. To global space. And let's do increase object 2x to global. So let's do a resample. Oh, we already did a resample on this guy. The uniform space, okay. Let's turn the wireframe back off. Yeah, so he's cool. Let's move him aside. So you do that using the transform tool when he's selected. Move him off to the side here. Yeah, so he'll just act as a scale thing. Let's turn these axes on to see the middle of the. And 3D Code likes to pop up these things to try to help you out. Oops, keep going back to surface. Let's just turn them ghosted like that. Go on to our high-res layer. Alright, so there's some tools you could do with sketching, okay? So let's go through here. Let's go to the voxel tools. There's 2D paint. You can sketch with like spheres. Let's see. Yep, there you go. So let's just make this, see the radius up here. That's 5x. Decrease object 2x, increase density. increases density, increase object, decreases density. So let's decrease the density. Let's decrease the density some more. Alright, so it's back to 1. Let's view the wireframe. Hey. That's spheres. There's a few tools you could actually just sketch raw in. You cannot do it with Cav. There's 2D paint. You could paint on a 2D plane. See, skull pinch. So these two tools here, you could just do stuff from scratch. Let's see blob. Right, so you can create blobs. Go into the tool that you have. Yeah, let's see what else here. The clay engine, leave that. Voxel tools. Surface tools. Rapid is another good one, but and then you could use like the curves in here to actually create kind of like a Z-sphere type object, like so. And you could go back in and adjust it, like so. You know, and once you put symmetry on, let's get symmetry. Toggle symmetry. Well, let's say let's go into the symmetry. Let's pull symmetry up. Here's symmetry. Enable symmetry. Show symmetry plane. You could go with symmetry on the x-axis like so. You turn off the symmetry plane. Yeah, so right here is where you could start, you know, doing modeling stuff based upon, you know, just laying a structure down based upon the design that you have. Like so. Actually, let's decrease this down a little bit. Alright. So again, this is just a warm-up, guys. As you could tell, like I'm trying to get accustomed to the way the tool behaves. I've used 3D Code a lot in the past for a lot of the models to start doing modeling and that kind of thing. do something like that. You can actually add like a middle part like that. And the key is to start simple, right? As simple as you can. Let's see if we can reframe this. Oh, reframe. Why did it reframe it on that guy? Do we have this guy? What does this say? Frame, put scene to on current object in Skullroom. Really? Oh, because this is virtual, this is not a real object yet. That's why it's going to that. Focus on brush. Okay, there we go. And you can add a key for that. Yeah, that's interesting. You can add shortcuts to a lot of these moves. So now, like, I select that. So I can make that smooth. I can select this and pull out. Now I got a new branch for like his shoulders or something. So I'm trying to get it back connected like that. I'm not sure how that works. But either way, this is great because it gives you like a basic kind of skeleton type guy to do stuff. Profile straight. That's fine. Yeah. I'm saying if we could do muscles instead. Muscle 2. Straight profile is fine. Yep, and you could do stuff like this. You could adjust it by holding shift. That's pretty cool. So you can really get in here and you could really do your thing. So let's play with this for a minute and warm up. A lot of my guys have this kind of like head that comes out like this. Something like that. Let's make this a little bit fatter. Fatty. Fatter, cooler. You know, learning from what we learned here, let's break that like so. Make this a little bit bigger, like so. Ideally, you want the reference of your character right here, so you could like view how the structure of your character is. So let's see. So this is where something like bref. Let's see, bref. I'm gonna make a copy, add it to panel. Add this next to Alchemy. This is where bref, something like bref comes into play. So in bref here, I could come here, and we could bring in some of the oops. Get that again. We could bring in some of the images that we've been working on. Ooh. Why is bref crashing? Let me see what the report is. Let's see. File. Open. Ooh. Yeah, more than one way to do that. I might have to look into why bref is crashing there. Okay, so yeah, but anyways, let's just let's go to our folder here, and we go into our to our main folder here, and then the concept art folder, and let's look for the first guy. Into levels, into this character design, heroes, enemies actually, and let's start with the warlords down. Let's start with this guy. You just drop him in here, and the bref, I'm going to tell it to always be on top. View, always on top. Yeah, so this is our guy here. Let's just bring him here. Now we could have him like over here or up here. Let's leave him down here and focus on right. So now you could see this guy, how his structure is over here, and we could try to mimic that back using this, and then we start adding in detail and sculpting, right? And we stay in voxels as long as we can, and then we go to surface and do other stuff. Now normally when you're doing like game characters, you don't want to do them in pose. Like a lot of like sculptors out there do stuff in pose, and it's cool for like if you're doing 3D if you're doing 3D printing to do stuff in pose, but normally when you're doing games, you want stuff in a static pose, like a T pose or some kind of neutral pose, and that kind of thing. Okay, so let's reset this guy here. Okay, let's see here. We could apply. Now, if I apply this, it's gonna make him real. Watch. See? So now that's a real thing. So now if I center on that, it's gonna be like that. Let's get rid of the symmetry right here. Alright, so this is the guy here as a reference. Let's give him a different color. Oops. Let's give this guy a different color. Do we have a nice nice blue for this guy? Yeah, let's leave him like that. Or even yellow, let's leave him like that. So let's go back to this guy here. Right, so now we could we could even bring it over here, and we could do stuff like this and see. Right, but this is nothing like this guy because we were just playing around. Let's just clear the layer. We could just do that by hitting that button. And let's see now if we could try to make up what this guy actually kind of looks like. So we could do several things. So between using curves and the sphere sketching, we could get something, right? So let's see. Let's go into let's get the spheres out here again. Here we go. Now this is why I like to make my own tool shelf, so I could get all these tools ready to go. So let's see if we could do that, because this is just a warm-up, right? We're not actually doing our concept stuff. So let's see here. What do they have? So view. Maybe if we right click on it. So you can hide the left panel. That's nifty. Let's bring that back. Okay, so let's see, view. All right, rather edit. Let's see, customize UI. All right, so now I could customize the UI of this. Or we in we're in the customize UI thing. So it's a preferences, reset local big. Okay, so if we're in customize UI, okay, hide, rename, okie dokie. See what else they have in here. Preferences, reset to default, settings, relocate 3D. Nope. See, some of these settings, I'll be very careful because they're a little dangerous. So load hotkeys, save hotkeys. Okay, that's fine. Let's go into preferences. Tools. Let's go into general. Store defaults. Okay, I'm trying to see how I can make my own shelf here. Should be able to do that. Let's close all these right now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. Nothing wrong with that. You know, I don't know everything. 3D quote custom tool. Can't remember how to do that. I did it one time. Let's see if the documentation have it. Surprised you can't just right click and make one. But you could definitely rename. I delete selection. Show all tools in this section, restore default, create section above. Oh, maybe that's how you do it. Okay, I remember now. So let's come here, right click, create section above, and give it a new name. Okay, call this NIK tools. Yeah, there you go. So now the clay tools don't have anything. So let's name this back to clay tools. Oh, let's rename this. Name NIK space tools. It's okay. And then this here, name it back to clay tools. Rename clay tools. They still gotta work that out, right? Okay, so we're gonna just drop some more stuff in there. We're gonna do all the stuff to make bodies, right? To make new sculpts from scratch. So sphere for sure. If you select sphere, this is what it does. It makes a 3D model like that. Right? You could start we could make the base of the guy's thing like that. So I'm gonna drop sphere in there. Yep, drop him in Nick Tools. And 2D Paint. I think it's nifty because you could like do some like right click on that. Like you could come here and you could right click on this and it will like face that plane and you in 2D like that. And you could choose a different profile. Alright, so let's put the 2D Paint in there. So again, you could start from scratch. Anything where you can make a model from scratch is what we're going to use. And then we use the curves tool, right? This curve right here. I think I'll put that on the sphere because that's pretty nifty. As a matter of fact, doing this right now in this new 3D code is actually working out really well. I didn't expect it to work this well. Right? And you can click up here to stop UI customization. Tubes array. There's different curve things. We don't need any of these right now. Let's go into objects. All right. So some of these objects you could use it from scratch. Let's see what snake does. Oh, it wants to make a snake object maybe. Oh, it's actually cutting into that, but it can't make it from scratch. So let's undo that. For some reason it's inverted. I don't know why that is. Toothpaste? Nope. Let's see what else they have. Objects, clone, voxel. We could deal all these later. Muscle tubes, right? So the muscles, I remember this. I used to use this a whole lot. Why are these inverting? Invert tool. Yeah, that's some weird behavior there. Yeah, you can make muscles like that. I'm not sure if it's because of I'm not sure why that is, but we'll see. So I can't use any of these because I want to be able to make stuff from scratch, right? It transforms, it just transforms. Move. Wasn't there a select instancer? Move, pose, bend. These are tools that I use a lot, so I'm gonna add them into the Nick tools. So I'm gonna actually let's bring the transform tools up. Let's bring them up. Let's put them right under there because I use them a whole lot. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. See, clay tool. So no, this is where straight sculpting comes into play. Leave all those there. Vox tools. I'd rather have that on top of the clay tools for now. Let's leave it there. Surface, okay, it's fine. Adjust. Yeah, these tools are very important. So let me show you what these tools do. So you could come here and let's go here with this. And you could just slice off pieces of your model, and that's how you could cut. As a matter of fact, you could use the polygon, like a polygon lasso type thing, and you could cut directly. It's like clay, right? Cut directly into that. Let me zoom in a bit. See, get a little cut. See if like I want on top here, like completely flat. You could do that. And it's like doing a quality act to your view. So this tool is pretty nifty. Measure. I think this is just a utility. You can just measure the distance between things. Right? That's what kind of little precision stuff there. 3D printing support, Voxide. Right? Quick pick. Quick pick is like selection. So I'm gonna put the I'm gonna put this whole adjust. I'm gonna move the measure tool, the 3D printing support. I'm gonna move that down. Don't need that. Don't need the measure right off. Or relief. Relief is where you could take like some sort of grayscale image and you could like put it on, project it on here. So I don't need that right off. undercuts. You could highlight undercuts. Oop, did I move? Let me put this. Okay. Copy. Yeah, some of these tools I still have to look into. I think the Vox hide definitely, reproject, fit. Okay, so Vox hide I think is one of the ones that people use a whole lot. Let's put this up here. Yeah, Vox slice. So after cutoff, it should be Vox hide. And then I like quick pick a whole lot, so you could pick your battles. You could pick your objects. And I feel like for some reason quick pick should be like in the transform stuff, man. So I'm just gonna put that there because that's almost like just a straight up selection tool. Let's see, Vox hide, you could like literally paint and hide parts of your mesh. And I think if you hold shift, it will like reveal it back. Right? You can reveal back, you know, most of the stuff that you've hidden or cut. So that's an interesting tool. Alrighty, so we can have things set up here a little bit. So let's take a little break. I'm gonna be right back, and yeah, we're continuing this warm up. So I'm just gonna take this adjust, and I'm gonna bring this adjust to the yeah, just below. So the Vox tools, clay tools, surface. We can leave the adjust right there. Yeah, all these tools are important, you know, but let's keep the nick tools like that. And as we start moving in the tools that we use the most, we're just gonna add it to the nick tools from these tools. I'm gonna stop customization. Alright. I'm just gonna give this this bad boy here a slightly different color. What color do people like to use in ZBrush? ZBrush, I think there's like this red tool like that. There's like some cavity, maybe even this one. And even this one too with some cavity. Let's just leave it like this one. You can see the faceted stuff. Alright, so we're gonna get into it in a little bit. I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and see if we could construct this guy using some of these tools here. I almost think these tools is really important. So love the way how the new 3D code feels. Okay guys, so I'll be right back, and let's take a break. Okay, guys, I'm back. Yeah, just needed to take a little break there, stretch. Yeah, so the question I have for chat or for any offline viewer today is, hey, let me know, which classical painter do you like? I mean, do you like, when I say classical, I'm talking Renaissance and I'm also talking traditional painters. It could be even painters from, from this century, So, I know people like Jackson Pollock and Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael and a whole bunch, So yeah, let's get back to using 3D code here. You see this fox hide thing? Yeah, so you could like just get into kind of sculpting or just removing parts here. There's also other see fox hide. Then there's fit. We were going through some of these other things. I think fit is to fit like from one thing to the next. We project. That turned it into a surface. Don't want that. Let's play that. Go back to voxels. So let's take cutoff and put cutoff into our tools there. To the Nick tools. Let me see, come here. I'm just gonna customize UI again. Put cutoff here. That's important. Fox side is not bad, I think. The rest we could leave here for now. Painting. Of course, you need to make objects. You can, make some random objects. Like, you could go into primitives, make some primitives. A lot of people like to start off like that, making a primitive. Like a sphere. So I would say this is an important one. Making primitives. Of course, you have import. You could generate a tree here. A split tool. Yeah, you could split your mesh into different pieces. So this is a good one to have. So you have a nice little wedge right there. Do a quick pick. Pick that guy. Pick this guy. Pick that guy. Then you can move. Just move. Use a move. Yeah. So I'm going to take split. I'm going to use split too also. It's a nice one to have. You have cut and clone, so you could cut and clone stuff. It's a little bit much. Fox extrude, that's another good one. Just gonna zoom in here a bit. You could do like that, and then you could apply, and it will extrude it according to what you have selected out. But how much is extrudes it by? Yeah, back into transform. So I'm gonna leave that alone. The Vox extrude Vox layer. Let's see what that does. Right? I think this might add another layer. Yep, so it added another layer of stuff. So this is good for like plating and that kind of thing. Isn't that cool? I like that. You could do like little plating things. You know, of course you could change your brush, the way your brush behaves. You know, you could do something like, let's apply that again. Oh, granted that it's on the right one. Yeah, Vox extrude, Vox layer, coat. If you need to use this curve modifier. It's interesting. Okay, so now we come down to like things like snake tool. Snake tool is cool, the muscle tool is cool. I think yep, tube muscle. So like I'm gonna take this one, I'm gonna add this to the list of things that we want to use. Let's see, just gonna hide that a bit. Oh, it switched it over to surface. Don't want surface. Let's go back to voxels. Back to voxels here. I'll put this below there because that's something that interacts with snake and then tube muscles. Put that here. I like the muscle tool. And then there's cloth. Real-time cloth simulator. Don't forget to press enter to bake the cloth to current volume. So you could add cloth to you can make something as cloth. So let's see. Let's make another one. Let's move this on top here just to keep things nice and clean. And I think with the for now I don't think we need this one, so let's leave that one out. Clay tools, so all these basic tools is cool. So these are all like just creating basic shapes and moving stuff around. Hey Swizzy, how's it going? Yeah, okay, yeah. Hey, nice to see you, you know. Yeah, glad to see you. I haven't seen you around for a little bit, you know. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great day. So I just want to shout out Swizzy 3D. You know how he drops in from time to time. You know, check out his channel. I think he's doing spaceships and stuff, which is kind of cool. Okay, so and Swizzy, if you're watching this now or even after the fact, what classical painter do you like? Do you like classical painters? One of my favorite classical painters. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, yeah. So Swizzy, do you know any classical painters that you like? There's one called Sir Singer, I think it's Sir Singer Sargent or John Singer Sargent. I can't remember. Yeah, John Singer Sargent. Yep. Chris Foss? Oh man, let's look up Chris Foss. I want to see what he does. So guys, we're just gonna go a quick search for Sergeant to see the kind of stuff that he does. He does a really nice portraiture like this. And I think this is one of his famous paintings right here with the lady dancing. Spanish dancer. So let's check out Chris Foss. I think you can imagine. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Let's check. I love to discover new people that I haven't heard of before. All right. Oh, you know who this looks like? Wait a minute. I've seen this guy's stuff. This guy's pretty famous. I wonder, is this the guy? There's a guy who had a book called Mass, M-A-S-S, and he's a concept artist like this. Whoa, Chris Foss is awesome. Yeah, I think I've seen some of his stuff. Is he like back in the 80s and stuff? I've seen some of the stuff like this one. Absolutely, man. You know what? Let's make a folder. I'm gonna make a folder here. Actually, do I have a folder called art? I do. So one of the other guys I like is Sid Mead, who is kind of like within this, you know, Sid Mead is a little more old school. But let's get Chris Foss in here, man. Awesome, love it, love it. Swizzy, you're awesome, man. Thanks for this. Yeah, these are some of the Grand Masters that I really like. Chris Foss. Absolutely. So let's see here. So I've Sid Mead, Chris Foss. I've Aaron Beck. I think I've spoke. Have I talked about Aaron Beck in the past? Maybe I did. Christian Pierce. Who's this guy? Yeah, he's another famous one also. Wow. Let's put Christian Pierce up here. Simon Stalenhag. I think you guys heard of me. Maybe you've heard of this guy. He did like Tales of the Flood. This guy here. I think they try to make like some shows on him based upon his art on Netflix. Yeah, look at this. I mean, if the game looks like this, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Look at that. I like that. Let's go back to Chris Foss. Oh, look at right here. Born in 1946. Very cool. Let's go to his webpage real quick. Portfolio. Yeah, okay, so he did stuff for Dune and all that sort of stuff. Okay, that's where I've seen his art. And a lot of concept artists probably got inspired by him. Flash Gordon. Okay. Yeah, it's classic. Yeah, Tales from the Loop. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Tales from the Loop. Yeah, I saw all his art on that, and that guy is awesome. I like his stuff. He's newer, but definitely top notch. You're correct. Wow. There's so many cool people out there like Doug Chan. You ever heard of Doug Chan? You think he did all the episode 1 stuff and this most of the Star Wars stuff in general? I know he had a thing that he was doing called Robota. Yeah, Doug Chang, man. Oh, DougChan.com. Let's go. Let's see if it's him. I don't know if this is the same Doug Chan. I don't think so. This is somebody else. Maybe he sold his website. Yeah, Doug Chan, this guy. Yeah, he designed a lot of the episode 1 stuff. Yeah, like this kind of thing. Then there's Ralph McQuarrie. And oh, there's so many different guys out there, man. Oh, the right, yeah, that's old xsinick design. Thanks. Yeah, I mean we're working on it. Yeah, so I was in 3D Code here, and we're going through some of the tools just to warm up, so we could get into making some of these guys. This will be the first guy. So I have some tools here that can make stuff from scratch. So let's see. So if I was to use spheres from scratch, I would start with the body. And the body is a little bit nondescript. I have symmetry on. I guess it's kind of crab-like a little bit. Oops. Let's get a nice color on you. Oh, I'm still in edit, so let me stop customizing the UI. There you go. And I made a tool shelf to the left here. Let's choose like the ZBrush red or something like that. I think I'll go with the darker one. Hey, I'll see you later, Swizzy. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, much love to you, brother. And can't wait to see what else you have. And feel free to stop by anytime. I'll see you later. Have a great one. With these spheres, you can literally just drag it like that, make a tube like that. So this will be like the body part. And of course, like, you know, you can use different tools, like some of these voxel tools. And you can start scraping away. So it's like this plain one that scrapes flat like that. Oh, I like that one. So let's add that in there. Let's customize UI. Grabby the old plane. And let's add him up here. Again, I'm just warming up. I'm not actually getting into like doing any of the stuff in real. Okay, there's also a fill tool I like, and you could do that, and you could like cover like creases. And you do as much in low poly as possible, and you just keep building up, right? There's also let's see, there's a scrape tool where there's a little more freeform, so you could literally start scraping in. Oh, they add there's a little smooth into it. You could try to get the shape of what it is you need it to be. Remember, this concept art is just a guide to where we want the character to go. Just gonna turn down the strength on this a little bit. It's a little harsh. And the smoothing, I think I want the smoothing to be 0. I really don't want it to smooth anything. Put the strength back up so there's a little more. So the fill and the scrape, let's add that to my tool. Customize UI. I'm gonna put scrape right here and put the fill right there. And carve is good because carve you could like lay down really quick details also. Carve is kind of like a low poly thing, then come with a scrape and scrape it off. So as long as we get the overall shape, then we could go in with straighter tools and cut into it. Like this plane. Like we just want this plane part here. And of course, you know, we have all these tools here, so we can come in here and we can look at it straight on and say, okay, the profile should be let's go to profile like so, maybe so, and then cut across. Just do something like that. Oops. Rotate it back into view. Alright. So what we have, come to the side here. This profile should start to dip off here. So let's just straighten it up a little bit. Come here like so. Let's do that. Let's angle this off like so. This part here is a little more round, but I'm gonna give it some angle. You know, if you notice, I'm not going to perfect orthographic views. Still keeping it a little organic. A smaller front here. Let's come to the top here. Like so. Alright, we're starting to get somewhat of a shape. Let's come here with a little bit of scrapes. Just clean that up. Let's scrape this whole side here. And of course, you know, we could come in with a plane. We could get a definite plane on that. Come down lower, get a definite plane on that. And we could increase the the resolution on this as we get deeper into detail, but the most important thing is getting the form down. Right, and then there's that move. Let's go and grab that move, adjust or transform is right here. So we got a move, right? So this is a move tool, so you could like literally grab parts of your mesh and move it. Let's hide this guy for now. I'm just gonna go big, and you're just gonna grab that and just kind of move the whole thing. Let's go to the edge, get a little big. We try to get the general idea of what this is. Grab this up here like so. Right? There's a lot of things that could happen here. Let's get this 2D from here. See if we could use this. But the ideal thing when you're modeling is not to jump between too many tools. You just want to use just a few of them. So if I come into the voxel tools here, there's like vox clay. And you can just add like ribbons of clay in here. Get some of that back. It's just, yeah, so there's a smoother in here. I'm going to take that off for now. We don't need this smoothing anything for us right now. See? And you can smooth it by holding, smooth it by holding shift. Get like a little smooth there. And I want this nice and flat, right? So there's different tools to get like a nice flat thing. Let's use a little bit of scrape. We could start zooming in. Let's make this a little smaller. Brush a little bit bigger. Yep. Scrape that. Just run some vox clay along the edge here. Let's make the indentation a little bit less severe. Let's see what happens if we increase. Oops. Let's see, to global space, yep. Let's do a resample on this. Let's increase it by a little bit. There you go. Get a little more resolution on that. So the thing about 3D code is that you gotta like just take your time and just add and sharpen and all that. There's even like a sharpen edge on here and all that sort of stuff. A scrape. And I'm gonna run a smooth on there by holding shift. Right. Now there's more, in 3D code there's more mechanic. This is like, the way I'm doing it here is really like the hand way, like moving clay. You can literally take a shape and start cutting in these different edges in here, which is probably a better way to do it. I'm gonna get a primitive. I'm gonna get a sphere. Again, this is just a warm up. I'm not actually trying to do the final thing. I'm gonna add a sphere for where the shoulder socket's supposed to be. Come here. This is just practice warm up again. Just gonna bring this out a bit. I'm thinking, like, for me, if there's anything we want the design to look better or the same as the concept art, always strive for better. Okay, I'm gonna add this, apply, so it's added it to the thing, and then I'm gonna subtract it, so I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, something like so. So you're gonna come here and go subtract here in the options, apply, and it just subtract it out. Now I'm just gonna build this up, right? I'm gonna try to beef it up. Just come with scrape. Turn that down a bit. Oh, wait a minute. Let's come here with a fill. Let's try to fill the crease. Make it more part of the chassis, so like it's welded. And I'm gonna cut straight. Let's see what we get here. Okay, we got something we could work with. We could increase the amount. Let's go with smooth instead of good, and we're gonna go up. Let's increase it a little bit more. I'm just using resample to increase it. Little bits at a time. Just come in here with a scrape. It's a little too much. Let's take the smooth off the scrape completely. Yep. Gonna zoom in a bit here. And then you know, once we have like the voxels somewhat okay, then we can move it into like make it a surface and move it into like adaptive modeling, adaptive sculpting, and then you'll see like we could add like all the finer details. Alright, so this is just cool for now. Let's come in here with this plane cut. See if we get a straight edge on this guy. Once you start adding more things, then you could crease the edges and really get some nice straight clean lines. Or you could just mill the whole thing, right? You could literally mill this in 3D code. Like you could get a shape and then use another shape to cut into it and just get all these shapes out of here. But for now I'm treating it like you know, we're doing just a basic sculpt, like organic sculpting. So it has a slight organic feel to it right now. Let's see. Let's get a plane on here. Face. Let's add a little more resolution on this guy. Oh, I'm just cutting this whole face clean like that. That's pretty interesting. Wonder what we got. That's interesting. I'll undo that. Yeah, that's me trying to bring this part here to the same level as that. Maybe a little too aggressive. Let's do like here. Okay. Something like that. Yeah, now let's go to like a perfectly orthographic view and see what we get. Okay, so the orthographic view here is where I like to use things like the split tool. So you see how this seam is here? Let's try that. We're just testing out here, guys. We're not doing the finals, right? I remember the split border is a big deal, so you're coming up in here. Let's say the split's right across. Let's come up here. Come here. Let's go down like so. I think this should interlock. Know that I'm watching that, so you could undo that. We could come here. We could do something like that. Something like that. Cut that across. You see, that's happening because of this border overlap thing here. So let's undo that. If we turn, if I can remember, turn that to 0, then you should get a more favorable result. So. I think they have that there for a reason. But right now, I don't care about a reason. I just want this to look as close to what it is we want. The 3D code is more of a utilitarian tool for like, definitely for 3D printing and that kind of thing. There you go. See, to me that looks 100% better. I could have done like that and do the thing on there. Now, if you was to color these, stop editing UI. So this is the top part. This is the bottom part. So if I go to the bottom part, give it that same kind of shade, just so we can kind of get kind of close to where we're looking like right there. All right, and then the top part. Let's give it some of that. Okay, something more like that. Alright, so there's a lot of things that could happen. Let's try for some smaller details. You could do cool things like take the snake and just add it. And it'll dig into it like that. See, something like that. Let's go to the top here. Let's see if we can simulate that back. There'll probably where they screw certain things in, so I guess one wouldn't be there. Maybe let's try to do one on the top here. Let's do one off to the side here. One off to the side here too. Swell this. Let's turn the smoothing down here to 10. There's a lot of smoothing in 3D code because you can work at high resolutions on here, especially with the voxel. Why isn't my radius going up? Let's try. Okay, there we go. We just got a little wacky. There's some of these finer details I would leave for a little bit later once we get like the basic structure of certain things down. I just wanted to see what this will look like. And instead of using a brush, you could also use like a line like so, to mark stuff. You do that. And you'll literally make a marking like that. Oops. Let's clear that. I don't think we're there yet. So let's see. We add let's resample that to slightly higher. Let's go 1.2. Okay, let's go to the bottom here. Also 1.2. Yeah. I could grab the scrape again and see how we have that tool right there to make a nice curve. Yep, and it's scraped along that curve. Make another one here. And you could adjust these points. So everything's on the up and up. Come here and hit apply. Apply again. I'm gonna keep applying the scrape to these. Come here, adjust this here. Yep, then you could clear it. Yeah, so this is really rough. You know me, I'm just, again, just getting back up to speed with using this tool. Let's go back to the brush. But turn the smooth off of that. You get a smooth of like 5. Because we have this on a separate layer, we could literally make this like this, so you can see right joins there. And you could dump this on your Wacom tablet. When I say dump, I mean just put it there. I don't think voxels is necessarily that good for like fine details, right? You could do it, but the better thing is to convert this into a surface and then use your adaptive surface modeling to get some of these finer details all nice and squared away, looking good, you know? Voxels is more for the big overhead shapes. You know, like we're spending too much time on this thing. Anywho's. Yeah, so this is where the 2 arms are gonna go. This thing here is a kind of lid thing. I don't know what that is. You know, probably I might like add a shape. So let's add a shape. Here that might look cool. So let's see. Primitives. Alright, that's where we added that. Oops. Let's go back here. Let's choose a cube. Bring that up. Let's go back to the perspective view. Right, I want to add a shape here for the top part here. We want to keep this as simple and as practical as we possibly can. Let's go back to that. Make this a little skinnier. And I'm gonna just apply the addition. Notice how I did that? I'm just gonna rotate this a little bit. It's a little trick here. Come back on the edge just to get like a little tapered vibe going on with it. Let's rotate it a little bit more. Come back in. Let's add that. Alright. And of course the top here is gonna be thing. That's why now let's go into the front view. And let's use that cutoff. Yep, get nice and cut clean. That'll be my solution to this part here. What I also like to do too is like, let's go back here to snake. Let's put this tool with this line here. Let's come like this, come like so, so, and boom, that's the panel lines. Oops. Yep. Of course, come back in and clean that up. Like so. It's a little thick panel line, but we need more detail to add it smaller. But I could add that in real quick. Could have even done that with this part here. Maybe the smooth on that could be 10. Let's see what happens if we just raise the sampling yet again. So 1.2er. Yeah, not bad. Do that with this one. Okay, see, it looks much more solid and emboldened. We're gonna come back out with that scrape. Again, this is, guys, you know, this is not the final. We're just trying to get accustomed to the tools here yet again of 3D Coat. So almost has a mod boxy type feel. So a little ZBrush feel to it too. See, I think that this this should have come down like that lower. But again, you know, like we could solve any you know, practicing solving these problems the quickest way possible is probably the best way. So I'm gonna use that move. It's gonna grab that piece and bring it like so. Go to the top, grab that piece here. Yeah, we're totally destroying it right now. But this is how you learn, right? You gotta play around with this stuff. Right? You gotta see what's good and what's not good. So yeah, all those big shapes I would do before we start adding any kind of detail to anything. That's what I would do. If we was to bring this down a smidgen. This is probably not the best way to do this because by this time, we're really affecting things up here. Yeah, you want to do this before you add any detail, right? Do this to the big shapes. Make sure everything is nice on the up and up. Before you split that, you probably would even want to mark it out. I think that's why this quick pick is here. You guys pick that. You could probably have a shortcut for that. For a quick pick, which is like a selection tool. You know what? Another thing I like doing here in 3D Code is making my own sort of materials. So let's see. Let's bring up the materials window, panels. Shaders, smart materials. Let's stick with shaders. That's what these are. Let's bring them up into here. Come here. I like making my own shaders. So like we know we're gonna use a lot of these. So I'm gonna let's duplicate this guy. So we're gonna right click on this guy. Let's see if we could duplicate him. Okay, let's see. Delete share items folder, rename shader, construct new shader. I think if you do that, it'll duplicate it. Name of shader. I'll put call it olive drab. Okay, yeah, so it totally constructed it. Now, I don't want this normal map on here. So let's see, use normal texture, turn that off. Alright, I want my colors to be a little darker. Closer to this guy. So I'm just going to back him up a bit. That's a base color. Cavity color. I want the cavity color to be a little bit darker. The bulge color, I want it to be a little more into the green. A little brighter. Back away a little bit. Let's make the cavity color a little bit deeper. And it's actually showing us that in this guy right here. Let's go a little more like that. I like that. Oops, let's desaturate that a bit. Well, I like this slider a little bit better. Okay. It's fine. See. Yeah, I think everything else here is cool. Let's see the gloss. Let's make the gloss a little bit less. Let's go 0.5. See, is there a roughness, metalness? Nope. Glossy. Cavity, gloss in the cavity? No. Turn the gloss down. Yeah. We don't want any gloss in the cavity. It's very little. Bulge intensity. Let's just back that down a bit. Yep. And I think this is okay. So there we go. We have our new olive drab. I think looking good. And let's make one for the. Let's make one for the metal. So I think we're using this metal right here. So I'm gonna right click on. I'm gonna come here. Quick pick this guy. Yep. Right click on this guy. And let's construct new shader. Call it dark metal. That's okay. Come into here. I don't necessarily like all these textures on here. Let's see, color texture. I don't want all that on there, so let's get rid of the normal texture for that. I guess some of this is okay. Maybe it could be less effective. Use cavity, flat shading, modulate color by, okay. Color by texture. If you turn that off, then you totally get that. You modulate the gloss there. The texture. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is the overall color of it. Let's go dark. Trying to get so a little bit cooler. Okay. Let's see, texture scale. Oh, so how big, how wide the texture is. So very. Metalness, yep. Gloss, yep. 0.5 normally is good. Just need the texture scale a little bit bigger. Let's turn that off. I just want a smooth finish. At least for now. Let's turn the metalness. Yeah, it's completely metal. Let's go a little less metal, 0.8. And let's turn the gloss. Okay, so this is less. Let's go 0.3. Okay, so now it's matching that color there a bit. Yeah, I want to bring that roughness in there. Let's use cavity. Yep. Cavity color. Let's go like so. Bulge color. Okay, so the color is that. Brush color should be a little bit wider. Let's do that. Let's go to 0.5 again. Metalness. Could turn the metalness up. Cavity intensity. Cavity glossiness. Want that to be down. Cavity metalness. Yeah, we don't want it to be so metal. A little bit. Bulge metalness. A little bit metalness, but you don't want to completely bulge glossiness. Yep. All right. I think this is good for what it is we need it for. I think there's other things in here where you could add, like, you know, and this is us warming up, right, guys? So let's see. Okay, so this is us warming up here. Let's bring this back over here. Yeah, I think this is cool for what it is, you know, what it is we need. Can I rename this? Rename shader. So dark metal. I'll put like a little nick there. So hopefully it'll align. It'll know it's kind of like some of my stuff. It's been, you know, it's not the default. Okay. Yep. And where's that olive drab? Let's quick pick this guy. Make sure this is the right guy here. Yep, it's the right guy. Let's rename this guy here. I'll put NIK, or NIK, olive drab. Yep, so they're kind of together. Shaders, NIK dark metal. Okay. Yeah, so I think there's things in here we could add, like a background and all that sort of stuff. So texture for environment. You could add that. You could add this. I think this is what it was on. You could add that. You could add this. Blur to sharpness. Okay. Blur or sharpen environment. Let's see, let's put the backdrop, show reference image. go back to this. See, this is contract, double click to toggle between two modes. Okay. Then adjust primary light source. Drag to blow or sharpen background. Okay, so we can come here to view the background. Use environment map. So this is an environment map with a background. So we could go ahead and model like this. Of course, if we change the environment map, you'll see the stuff change with it. And this is where this blur thing comes into a thing. You wanna resharpen that. It's not as blurred. You don't if you unlock the environment, then when you turn it, the environment will turn to, which I think feels much more natural. Turn the blur down. Show inexact views. Paint over the reference. Yeah, there's a whole lot here, and you see that's the one thing about this program that I like. It's like there's so much, if you want to target in on a specific thing, you can, because they give you all the options are right there, but you don't need to use all the options. Background, custom navigation, which we don't need that. So you want custom scheme, which you could use ZBrush like, soft image like, Maya, 3D code. I keep it default, it's fine. So rotate around world center, you could tell it to do that, and it'll just always rotate around the world center no matter what, which is what I like. This is a field of view, so go field of view. Normally something like 55 works. Come back to, and of course you can hide the background. You don't need to see this background with everything. Check this other background here, and you could use your own environment maps. You could bring those in too. But they have a bunch here you could choose from. Yeah, they got a good bit to choose some different lighting setups. Yeah, you can choose your own background image. It's like reference images. You could do camera snapping. Sometimes for some people, like, this background could be a bit distracting, so that's why they allow you to be able to not, you know, to not, you know, to not view it. This rotator guy. Go to transform. There we go. Okay, let's turn off the viewing of the background. Okay, use background image, use environmental vertical gradient. Try vertical gradient. There you go. Use background image. This is where we were. Then we're going to transform. Put 0 in here. We'll move here. 0. Oh wow! Hey, thanks for subscribing. Yeah, Vinny I, yeah. Vinny underscore I, yeah. Thanks for subscribing. Not subscribing, thanks for following me, you know. That's great. I really do appreciate it. You know. I'm gonna try to keep doing some of these modeling things here. Very awesome. Thank you. Really appreciate it. We're getting to our goal right there of having 30 and then the goal of 50, and then I'll be able to add cool stuff to the stream. Okay, so this is a view here that I've been doing of 3D code, kind of getting in here and warming up and using some of the tools and kind of making some of these parts of this thing that we have here work. So I have an idea. I'm gonna just try to do the arm part now. So I'm gonna go add another primitive. Let's go with a sphere. I'm gonna start with the arm here. Let's add that in here. Okay. And just getting the shapes. Let's try different things to get a shape like that. Just gonna add that shape. Right? And one good way, let's bring our guy back in here for scale. So let's move him around a bit. Okay, and we're gonna rotate this guy here a bit. Go all options. Rotate around the, go 90 on this one. Oops. 180. Okay. Just gonna take this guy and let's put him over here. Okay, and we got the arm part here, so could always rename this here in 3D code and call it like chassis or body or whatever. And this is going to be the arm. So we already added that guy in there. Let's give him a color. Let's take the color palette, put it over here, and let's just give him all lovely little olive drabby. Right, and then we're going to use our curve. I'm going to start adding like some little volume to this. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Oops. Let's see what's going on here. Let's go back again. Yep, there we go. Let's go to the orthographic view here in 3D code. Just move him around. There you go. Let's go side view like that, side view like this. Oh, I think it's spacebar. That space. Okay, let's bring this guy over here. Yeah, there you go. guy over here. Like so. Okay. Just add that like so. Make sure we're on the right layer. Oh, did I? Chassis. Arm. So we're gonna do that. So right now 3D Code is giving us like a virtual model. It's not like cemented until we press apply up here. Again, guys, this is just a warm up. In the next week or so, we're gonna get into the actual modeling of using 3D Code and actually trying to get into some serious throwing down of a model. I mean, it feels kind of serious right now though, but you know, I digress. Okay, here we go. Get our front view. There we go. Again, gotta get accustomed to the controls over again here. Wait a minute, so this is a top, right? That's the bottom. Left, right. So yeah, we've got to turn this guy around for sure. It's all good. We're just playing around right now. Get a little bit smaller like that. See this guy? So off the bat, like this arm part here is supposed to be a lot smaller. Let's just do that. Yeah, this is supposed to be the front, so it's all good. We can always fix that. Let's give him a little articulation here. Let's give it a, let's hide this guy. Just bring the arm up a bit. If you hold shift, then you could move things around like so. Just focus in right here. Okay, now let's apply that. I'm gonna make this this part of the army a little bit smaller. Okay, so this has got to be one whole piece. And we could literally just go in and start just carving and sculpting on this thing. Just according to what we see here, right? So I'm just going to use a scrape and just start scraping away. Just give it a slightly different color just because we were working on it. And if you don't want to touch anything, oops, my bad. You just hit that kind of ghost effect. Oh, because everything else needs it too. It's all about getting that form in there, right? We're going with a little scrape. Just try to get that, and then we'll go back in with like the clay. Let's take this clay tool out of here, and let's drop it in our Nick Tools custom UI. I'm just gonna drop this. This is important right here. So a bunch of other stuff in here. The smooth, this pinch. Pinches, they work somewhat. I'm gonna grab a pinch and just drop the pinch on the fill. Hey. Alright, let's get back to it. Let's go with that ZBrush or red. Okay, I'm going to use our grow tool. I'm just going to pull out this side here. And we can use so many different things, right? We could come in here with a move. Yeah, this lovely move, and we can move that sucker out here. Something like so. And we could bring this guy down. We could just basically start pulling, pushing, and scraping shapes into form. Use a fill that up, fill up those creases a bit. Let's come back with a scrape. So that's scraping them down. Brush a little bit bigger. Remember, bigger brushes are your friend. Now 3D Code, I think, is a great program because the price point is significantly lower than I think ZBrush, and you could still buy it like for individual, and you could get the free version to try out. I'm gonna pull this guy out here. Hold on. Just pull out like that fin right there. And if symmetry bothers you, you could turn symmetry off, so just so that you could see what you're doing. But for now, you're gonna leave it on. I'll beef that up some. Yeah, let's come in here with a scrape. Actually, you could do everything with that grow, with this voxel grow. I'll show you. So like you could like come control. So, yep. Actually, hold on, wait a minute. Is it voxel? It's supposed to be voxel clay. I think I picked the wrong tool here. Let's get that. So I'm gonna go back and edit the UI. It's not voxel grow. I want voxel clay. Let's put grow back here. Stop editing UI. Okay, so I'm back here with the voxel clay. There you go. And with voxel clay now, you could just use voxel clay for everything, right? So let's just use it to scrape, but it's really crude, right? Let's go in here and just start add this. My advice to myself and anybody trying to try to get into sculpting is just work with one tool. Here's the depth. The depth is 18. Let's go 10 on that. Yeah, these tools are really like sometimes a little bit too responsive. We're just trying to build up like the shape that we're seeing here. Cut into here. So yeah, you could use, if you hold with a lot of these tools, if you hold control, you get a negative version of the tool. So you could use it to cut away things, and then if you leave it alone, you get a positive version where you could like add, and that's how you work with the one tool. Steady stroke. I wonder why steady stroke is on. Turn that off. Steady strokes are okay, but I don't think I necessarily need them right now. So what steady stroke kind of does, if you don't know what that is, it helps you keep nice straight lines when you're using a mouse. Yeah, so what we're focusing on right now is a form. Oops. Get these nice ribbons here. We're looking for is like silhouettes, right? So one thing that helped me with sculpting also is that when you rotate, you're supposed to constantly rotate. You could turn all the sculpting on things off, like the chassis and all that. So when you're doing something like this, you want to rotate and look at the silhouette, the outer edge. That's why sometimes people use like a black material like this to get that, and they use a white background. And then you look at the inner contours, like how things are flowing on the inside. Let's pull that up there some. So you see how there's a fin, and I'm trying to get that fin back, and then there's an angle here, like so. I'm gonna cut that in so. And you just constantly work with it until you sculpt it into submission. And again, you know, anybody sculpting has different methods to get this stuff done. Mine is not definitely the best method, but it's the one I use, you know. It's the way I know. And you definitely don't want to start at like if I can remember, when you're sculpting, you're not supposed to start at the top, like resolution. You're supposed to start at the lowest you could possibly work with, and then build up resolution. So like if you want to smooth things out, you just hold shift in this program. I'm gonna hit the smooth up a little bit. start smoothing this out. Let's just take a look at the form. This is a good warm-up. Good little warm-up video. Yep, start to build that up some. Let's get back a ZBrush wax. Yep. Little red wax thing. Okay. Trying to get this shape here. Cut into that. Alright, let's switch to like scrape. Let's scrape it out. Boom. Scrape gets it. Shape. Get the bigger shapes happening. There's this shape here. Okay. And the shape comes here, so. When you're doing polygon modeling too, sometimes you have a little more control over this stuff. So you could like go in and you could poly model this stuff first, then bring it into like a ZBrush or like a 3D coat like what I'm doing, and then add the details to it, you know. That also works too. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, let's go back here. Let's go a little smaller with a scrape. So the more you work on it, the more you start to bring it into some kind of submission, you know, some kind of, you know, closer to what you may have envisioned, you know, the model being. I think in here at one point they had even like a polish brush, and this is just voxels, guys, and also like by the time we bring this into surface sculpting for surface details, we should have something pretty close to the concept art, if not a little bit better. Don't be afraid to grab and move. There's one like two planes here, like this is one plane, other plane. And then, you know, some concept art wouldn't like tell like certain things about the 3D form. So that's where we You know, we could do our own interpretation of what, you know, some parts that it doesn't show look like, but at least we have our blueprint right here. So doing concept art definitely pays off. It takes away a lot of the guesswork. We'll add some box clay on here. I'm gonna build up like the muscle here. I also have that muscle tool. Okay, let's fix that. It's a little crazy right now. Let's fix that. Oh, is it doing backward? Why is this tool backward? It's like they changed something in the tool. Invert tool. I have to look into that. I can't remember the muscle tools being inverted like that, unless I'm doing something wrong here. Act as voxel hide. Oh, okay. So turn that off. There you go. That's how it's supposed to work. Don't know why that would be on like that to begin with, but hey, scrape. Let's continue scraping this this part here. Smaller scrape. Alright, I'm gonna use that little fill thing that we have here. It's gonna fill up some of these creases. Like so. There's that muscle tool again. And let's lay down muscle right here. There you go. That's built up. So you're just gonna want a silhouette of what this looks like. Smooth it out. Just smooth out. Scrape that, smooth out. And as we go along, I'm thinking I'm going to get a lot faster. Getting this stuff down. We made a lot of progress today. You know, we were able to make like our own tool shelf here in 3D Code. We were able to like play around, see how the brushes behave. I must say the brush engine in this version is you know, like they keep improving the brush engine and stuff. It's behaving a lot better than I can remember in the past. Almost as if like you used the old version in the past, like it almost gives you superpowers to use this one. Yeah, I'm probably destroying it at this point. Yep. Remember, stick with one. You don't have to smooth everything. You know, I just sometimes have to stick with not using smooth for a minute and just cut things where they need to be cut. Just make that smaller. Simpler is better. Smooth that part here. Right, and of course you have this long piece here, which is all these things are like really cool to do in 3D Code. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna drop a primitive on this edge to get this edge here. Then we could cut a lot of these things up and deal with them as individuals. So let's just drop a primitive real quick. I'm gonna make this look right here. You see these different freeform objects. I'm gonna use a freeform object like this. I'm gonna do it very simple, 2 by 2, like that. Right, and we want to move this guy into place. So transform. It's gonna bring him up. So remember, taking your time and moving it a little bit at a time, piece by piece, small increments. Don't get overwhelmed. I'm kind of like coaching myself, right? You know, there's a couple other people, they don't like 3D code, and that's fine. You know, ZBrush is like, you know, definitely like industry standard. It's kind of like Photoshop. You know, 3D code is kind of like Nuke. You know, if you know about Nuke, Nuke is like, you know, effects compositing tool. I mean, the comparison is a little bit different, but in terms of being complex and being able to do cool things with it, you can. It's just insanely powerful. But sometimes a program could be so powerful that people don't get it, right? That's what happens sometimes. You're gonna get this little wedge right there. You could totally like just mill all this. You could do all this in polygons and just like make it completely like hard surface. But let's see what doing sculpting it is gonna bring. You know. I always like a little more organic vibe to my to some of my robots. I think it kind of gives a slight futuristic feel to it. Just make this a little skinnier. Okay, let's see if we could turn the freeform part on here. Ooh, looks like I might have wanted, oh, did I reset it? Oh no. Okay. That's fine. Let's do this. You can select the edges of this lattice or the, you know, or the points. Transform the whole thing. Just going to do a little rotate on it. Something like so. Just bring it in. little bit fatter. Rotate it a little bit like this. See, we got that back. For a minute there, I thought I lost it. I was like, what? We could be really messy and just add this guy in there like that. We don't need to, you know, to be all gingerly about it. Supply it. Okay, rotate. Let's rotate this. Okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna add that plain scrape. Again, guys, you know, I'm just playing around here. Not the finals. Let's see what we did. Woo. That was a lot much. It's a little bit better. So I'm right clicking to get the plane right on this. Of course, the rotation of the arm and stuff, we could separate all that and rotate things in place and just really get this going. Let's scrape this. Scrape is your friend. Why is smoothing so hard? Let's turn that down. Add some clay on here. Scrape. And I think this is what like actual sculptors do, right? They add clay, they scrape. And I like how they have the clay as strips. That's pretty nifty. Just scrape that. Okay, let's try another tool out here. I have pinch. Let's just see which brush works best. Let's go with the softest brush we could find. Does this work for the pinch? We also have brushes, right? Let's look for the brushes section. So let's see. So go Windows. Now we'll go panels, brush, option panel, brushes. Here's the brushes. Let's add the brushes right here. Now go with this for pinch. There's a depth and there's a smoothing to it. I want it more or less. Let's try more smoothing. See what results we get with that. It leaves like a rim and stuff, which I kind of don't like. You can easily get rid of that by just doing that with it. Yeah, just looking at that tool to see what it does. Let's go back to scraping this guy. Scrapey, scrapey. Oh, is this sharing? I think it's sharing the brush throughout. Scrape. Oh, the smoothing is always back up to 100. Which I kind of don't want that. Go to pinch. Yeah, sharing the brush, smoothing, sharing the smoothing. Let's go 10 on that. Let's keep it at 10. Let's say so far it's been a pretty interesting warm-up. Box display on there. Let's do that. Probably want to cut this out. Let's see if we can do that right here. Split. Let's do something like that. Yep. And because you have this now, you could use a transform tool. Let's do symmetry over this. No symmetry. And I can use a cutoff to get rid of this other side here. Let's go back here. And move on the gizmo. So bring the gizmo up to this part right here. Turn that off. Let's rotate that. Yep. So we could definitely just start working on these different pieces here. Start working on this arm. So working on this arm. And keep bringing them to a place where they're somewhat okay. Okay, for not like working on anything and just screwing around here, we definitely got something, right? Yeah, we got some stuff, you know, some basic modeling parts. Alright, so I'm gonna call that a stream, guys. We've been going for a little while, and you know, I'll continue a little bit later, and we'll come in here and we'll start adding some more things to this model. Let me just look at this arm right here. So if it is, I know there's a you could copy things in 3D code. There's like an axis and that kind of thing. So what if I come back here? I'll have to duplicate this back on the other side. So let's see, access, let's try that. Alright, so one instance, right? I don't want 4, just want 1. Actually 2. Right? And we want it along the Z. Position, rotate, axis 2. So minus 180. Let's go 180. No. 90. See what that does. What we actually need is kind of like a mirror, because the axis will spin it. Yeah, axis spins it, so let's not use this tool. Is there a mirror? Geometry. Symmetry copy. I think that's what we need. Let's go back to transform. Nope. So it's on the main axis. So that's kind of cool. Center to local. Reset. Oh, no. No, reset space. Set axis. Put a position to 0. Okay. Let's see now. Geometry, symmetry copy. Oh, I gotta turn symmetry on, that's why. Here we are. So symmetry plane. Set symmetry. Okay, let's do the symmetry copy thing. Let's see if it works. Yep, there you go. Bazam, we're back in action. Woo! Back in action on that arm. That lower arm, the forearm, and the upper arm. Alrighty, so I'm gonna call that a stream. I'll see you guys later. xsinick out. Take it easy, and thanks for all the new followers, man. That's awesome. Just wanna say hello and shout out you guys. You know, I just want to say hello to Vinny I. You know, Vinny. Hey, thanks for following me. And again, Coco7767. You know, that's awesome. You know, thanks for following me. MC Pinks also again. Besessi69. The Horror. Thanks for following me. And of course, my man Swizzy. You know, 3D. Thanks for following me. And you who watch me even after the fact. Thanks for following me. You know, and thanks for watching and taking interest in what I'm doing here. We're trying to build up a little following for when we bring this game out. You know, we would have a nice following and we could offer special rewards to those who follow us on this development journey. You could check the game out there on Steam. There's the information right below, next to the xsinick show logo. You know, check the game out on Steam, follow it on Steam. And we're going to continue trying doing these developments. So for the next stream, God willing, tomorrow, God willing, We'll do another warm-up, and then after that we'll get into actually doing some production level modeling, right? We'll probably jump into Blender and we'll go back and forth and that kind of thing and see how things work out, right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Take it easy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna save this this guy right here. Let's go into quick pick here. I'm actually gonna yeah, let's save this guy real quick. Yeah, so let's save this guy real quick for now. Yeah, his proportions need some fixing. Like this should be bigger, this should be a little skinnier. Man, we could there's a lot of cool stuff we could continue to do on here. So I'll see you guys in a little bit, and we'll save this, and next one we're gonna practice dropping this rudimentary kind of figure, this rudimentary object into the game engine and seeing how it renders, how it looks, right? We'll have to do some we'll have to take this and we'll have to kind of get a simplified version of this and drop it in game engine. Let's just take a look at it, right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Take it easy. xsinick out. Peace. Yeah, definitely Godot is the way to go for sure. Have a good night.